Hi everyone, my name is Michael Pimpin. I am a senior at FIT in the production management program, and this is our sustainable PPE mask. And we've been divided into three different categories. We have the design, the materials, and the production and the construction of the mask. So I'll first introduce Izzy, who is our fashion design student in the group. So Izzy.
Hello, I'm Izzy McClelland. I'm an eighth semester fashion design student at FIT, and I did work on the design aspect of this mask. And our goals with this mask were to create a piece that was able to accommodate all face shapes and sizes, had accessibility options, and was made in sustainable production. And to start, we did this by using a chevron pleat for the body of the mask. And with a chevron pleat, the fabric expands in 4 directions rather than 2, which allows for customizable coverage for the wearer. We also used a knit construction for the strap of the mask. It was a rib construction knit on the Stoll machines at FIT and knit with elastic, which creates good shape retention and comfort for the wearer for long-term wearing. And part of the accessibility option with having the strap go behind your neck is it allows for glasses wearers or hearing aid wearers to have more space on their ears and have a mask that isn't off their ears. But we do have an option if you do want to wear it on the ears by having this ear hole in the middle for accessibility and options for if you want to change the pressure points of the mask in that way. And I'll pass it to Mina to talk about the textiles.
Hello, my name is Mina. I'm a senior in the TDM department. So basically how we started off was that we realized that most masks are made out of polypropylene non-woven, and we realized that it's detrimental to our environment because it's only disposed of, but it's not properly recycled or it can't be reused in any way. So we decided we should come up with a list of different materials that are biodegradable. And so the main material we decided to go with was lyocell. And a few different reasons why is because first, it's a regenerated cellulose fiber, and it is derived from eucalyptus trees, which are a renewable resource. Second, it's hydrophilic, so it can absorb the virus-containing droplets. And it's also, the performance-wise, it's very strong. It's stronger than cotton, and although it's not as strong as a synthetic, it has a higher tenacity than most fabrics. It also blends well with other fibers. So when we were selecting different fabrics to test, we thought, why not try to go with various different blends? And so we chose like tensile wool blends or just 100% tensile. And then in the end, we're going to test which one has the highest particulate efficiency. And also, most importantly, it's biodegradable. And in this slide, you can see that we mentioned fibrillation. And so fibrillation occurs in the wet state. So through abrasive action, microfibrils will develop on the fiber surface. And this can create a range of fabric aesthetics, such as textures, but however, it is effective for our mask because the fibrillation will enhance the particulate efficiency by blocking the droplets from entering and coming in contact with the person wearing the mask. And I'll pass it on to the next person.
Hi everyone, my name is Maria Robinson and I'm a junior studying production management with minors in ethics and sustainability as well as international trade and marketing. I'm going to talk a little bit about the 3D printing nose piece that you see, which has major benefits in design as well as production. A printed nose bridge allows for customization and accessibility, as Izzy emphasized a lot in our design. Individual prints also guarantee minimal waste, and the specific filament we are pursuing right now is made from renewable materials and is compostable. So that's a little bit about the 3D nose piece, and I'm going to pass it on to Michael.
Hi, I'm Mike Jules. I'm currently a senior in the production management program in my last semester. To touch more on the production side of this project, we brought the fabric to be pleated at the New York Embroidery Studio on 36th Street and between 6th and 7th in the Garment District. We spoke with Michelle, who works there, and she has been nothing but helpful with helping us get the fabric pleated. Michael and I went to the pleater about a few weeks ago, and we chose a chevron pleat for this mask. And we went last Friday and dropped the fabric off where they are currently pleating everything for the mask. The process for pleating is where they fold and steam the fabric. And the embroidery studio is located in New York City. So it's local, which is more sustainable because instead of flying or shipping anything, we're able to just go there in person and drop or pick things up. And to talk more about scaling, I'm going to pass it off to Michael.
All right. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Michael Pimpin. And for the scalability of the project, after this initial sampling phase has been finished of picking the appropriate fabric that has the right kind of particulate defense against potentially any airborne particulates, we will make sure that one, the pleats hold its shape in order to keep its durability and its effectiveness of being friendly for all shapes and sizes. We'll have to also make sure that we'll have the proper stole equipment to create the knitted neckbands or the harness around the neck, making sure that it can accommodate the ear holes to accommodate more of the accessibility, and then also making sure that we can print the 3D nose bridges en masse. And once all of those moving variables have been set in place, we'll find a local manufacturer here within the US, ideally somewhere in New York City, that can take all of the knitted pieces, the pleated woven fabric pieces, and the 3D pieces together and construct everything. So then that way we can actually be able to produce it for consumers. So with all of that, production will bring all three of the departments together and create something for retail. So yeah. So with that said, that is our sustainable PPE mask. So another question too, what I would like to ask our students here was, what was it like to consider like the yarn usage for the ribbed knit band? So I was gonna ask Izzy that question. So Izzy.
Yeah, the great thing about knitting on the stole machine is it knits very fast. There's not a lot of yarn usage here, and it is completely zero waste because the stole machine is able to knit exactly the shape that we program it to. So there's no extra yarn like waste involved at all.
Cool. And can you remind me what fiber we're aiming for the yarn as well, please?
Yep, that would be a soft cotton and an elastic yarn, which makes it very comfortable and very elastic to fit any size.
Cool, thanks, Izzy. And then my next question would be for Mina. So, Mina, can you explain a little bit how lyocell is more sustainable? Because I'm familiar that it's from pulp from wood, but could you elaborate a little bit on that as well, please?
I believe from prior research I did, they were explaining how the way they grow the eucalyptus trees are quite unique and different compared to the usual process method of producing like other regenerated manufactured fibers like rayon, modal, etc. And also the biodegradability aspect of it. It shows how after 7 days of soil burial, it's quite fast as to how it degrades over time when it's planted in soil. And so I thought it was the most ideal fiber for this project.
Cool, thanks. Because I want to also add that with the lyocell, when Mike and I went to the pleaters, they also explained that lyocell was able to retain its shape once it's pleated a little bit better than some of the other fibers. So also while trying to stay on top of like the sustainability aspect, we also wanted to make sure that it can still maintain its pleat after washes, because we also want to make sure that this mask is capable of being rewashed again and again. So then that way, our consumers can actually have a sustainable item in their hands, meaning like being able to uh, reuse it more than once. So obviously, a mask has to be washed. And I guess my next question would be for Maria, if she can explain to us like what kind of um, fiber would be used. I guess would be the right question for the printable 3D nose bridge.
Sure, I can talk more about the filament that feeds into the actual 3D printer. The filament that we're looking at right now is a Dura biodegradable nylon that mimics a PLA, which is a plastic that is made out of vegetables. So this specific filament is made out of 100% virgin resins, but will be able to be compostable along with the lyocell. So it mimics some of the other less environmentally friendly filaments in terms of its bendability and strength. However, it's non-toxic and does not release any harmful fumes when it is being printed. So that's the benefits that I found.
Cool, thank you. So, would the audience have any other questions?
I think there are a couple great questions. So first of all, I want to thank you. This was really great to hear about the design process and the intersection of science, design, engineering, and really how we put all of those together in a synergistic way. So from the audience, one of the questions actually has to do with a little bit more explanation about what it means when you say it's elastic. Is that more specifically about its behavior or its composition?
So the elastic that's knit into the rib strap is like an elastic thread. It's polyester and stretch composition, so it does allow for like better shape retention and comfort there.
Excellent,
So,
thank you. Oh, sorry.
So the question about the 3D printed nose bridge, for washing purposes, can you take it off? Does the design permit for you to take off the nose bridge when you launder or when you dry clean, or however you wish to take care of the mask?
Right now in our designs, we have like a way to slip it in and out. However, we have not done any wash tests at this point, so we don't know if that's the best way or to create like a closed compartment. So I think that's something we have to explore.
Okay, that's great, Maria. I had a follow-up question about that, which is when we talk about, you know, the recycling or the compostability of the textile itself or the fibers, you know, is the idea that we would remove the nose piece and it would be separated out at the point of end of use.
I am not confident about the answer to that question, but I believe that this nose bridge is easily compostable in any like backyard composting. So I believe that answers your question.
Oh, that does. That means that the entire mask by your material selection is actually compostable without actually having to separate into, you know, multiple different zones, which improves the ease for the consumer or the user, and the it increases the likelihood, at least in my experience, that it ends up being pathed as it should be, not loosely put into the waste stream because somebody can't figure out or can't be bothered.
Definitely.
Amy, I think you had a question.
I want to know, what were the challenges in communicating between design and, you know, material and, you know, construction? Was there any, like, you know, was there a common tool that you all used? Was it in pictures, or, you know, did you have to change your language to understand each other?
I can speak to that quickly. The great thing about this project is that usually the production department is at the whim of design. They create something and then we are kind of forced to make it. But in this, we were involved from the beginning, so we could kind of give our input and build something that was truly able to be created.
It's a really good insight that it was truly a team effort and not siloed kind of disciplines.
Hi, I'm not sure whether, you know, Michael, you need to mention about New York embroidery, mention the name of the factory. Just a thought.
All right.
No, go ahead. Yeah, Michael, Peter is right. When you do the presentation on Friday, you don't have to mention anything about, you can just say that you had the pleating done commercially at this point and then just leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk more about the process than the actual where we're bringing it. I wasn't really sure what I should do, but all right. Thank you.
So I have one last question for this, which is, now that you've done this great kind of interdisciplinary collaborative project, if you were able to design a course or a set of courses that worked towards a degree, what would it look like? If you were able, now that you've been through a program here at FIT, all in different majors, you've in some cases done different minors, based on this experience, what would you recommend to those of us who work on trying to build and scale programs?
I would like to say maybe cap it to a smaller group of students, maybe about like 15 for the classroom size. I think that's fair enough. Since it's going to be interdisciplinary, a lot of field trips. So field trips or guest speakers or some kind of rep to represent like the different fabrications and how to like who can actually maybe jump on board and kind of be able to like show some of like the stats of each one. So I'm guessing like, for example, maybe like lensing speakers or stole speakers. So then that way we can actually have like real hands-on like scalability and tangibility. Like also like, for example, like the stole machines in the basement, I believe, was it a little bit tricky to get the ear loop, I guess, was it? Or was it the working with the 3D file for the stole? So I guess there's that Stoll place on the Stoll office on 39th or something. No,
They moved to the Midwest.
Oh wow. This is not Midtown, it's
Yes.
Midwest.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's interesting. So it would give you students to be able to have that industry insight or professional insight within the course gives you real kind of tangible connections to the work that you're trying to build in the particular class, right? It kind of circles it all back.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely more of a junior senior level class. Um Yeah, so smaller class size and definitely a lot of hands-on because there will be a lot of like intermixing, like how like us five were able to like we did really well, I like to think, between group chat, emails, and like touch bases, like weekly touch bases on like Google Meets or whatever. I think we did really well because I don't think there was ever any like skip of communication between any of all five of us. Like we were like making sure we were on top of each other at that, and like in the sense of like being like, hey, we're going to pick up the fabric from Gwen, and like, hey, we're on our way to um like the pleaters, or like, and then yeah, so everything was communicated really well. But then once we get back to in person, I think it'll be even easier, if not better. So so yeah, I think with that being said, it's just mainly um, smaller sizes and a lot of hands-on experience for the class. Field trips.
All right, so
Lots
I
of
have a
field trips.
follow-up question for you, Michael, and then I want to throw that same type of question out to the rest of the group to hear if there's some other spaces or kind of curriculum pieces that you would love to see. Would you love to see this as a place where it actually partnered with some internships for like the groups of 5, where it was actually very much a project-based component like this was, where you came in with different backgrounds and you were a group of 5, for example, and then you had an industry partner, so much the model where you actually would do an internship as part of this?
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's a really good idea because most of the bigger corporations also do that. They mix their departments together to actually produce like a sample run of like a capsule collection. So yeah, that would be a great idea.
All right, excellent. Thank you. So I'd love to hear from our other students about what you might wish to have had either in your FIT program before this opportunity, or you would love to see us work on in the future. Who would like that next? Izzy, I'm going to pick you because I think you came from such a unique space in the sense that you were a design major. You know, you came at this as a senior, but this was a real opportunity for you to collaborate outside of your area.
Yeah, this being like an interdisciplinary class or project was really beneficial to me as a designer. I think so far at FIT, I've worked mostly independently. I don't worked on a bunch of group projects, but so I learned a lot from working with other disciplines, especially in such a small group, like allowing us to work really closely with one another. I learned about different like aspects of the process, and like Maria was saying earlier, like I wasn't just doing the design on my own. It was like I had other people there with different ideas and perspectives with me.
Did you think that changed your design process a little bit?
It did, definitely. Like hearing ideas from people who come from different disciplines, had different ideas than I did, and it was great to incorporate that into the design.
Excellent. Mina, what about for you? Because you're really a textile expert. That was where you started in this work. Might you talk about the experience or the opportunity, what things you would have wished maybe to have had prior or in addition?
One thing I realized through this major project is that you have to take into consideration the other disciplines. So, for example, I was told that I need to come up with a list of materials, but from there we would select the one that would be most ideal. However, when both Michaels had to go to the pleaters, they told us that lyocell may not be able to pleat as effectively as like rayon, and so I was devastated because I did all that research and then now they're just it felt like everything, my hard effort was all discarded, and uh I wasn't sure what to do at that moment, but luckily everything worked out. But then through this, I realized that it's not just my part where I get it done and then I submit it, but it's really, I have to consider what everyone else is doing. And from there, we actually have to collaborate and work on this together, or else there will be no final prototype in the end if we're not in sync and harmonizing together. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That was really excellent. Let's see, Maria, would you like to talk a little bit about your experience and maybe what additional curriculum you wish you would have had the opportunity to engage in here at FIT?
Sure. When you were talking about possibly creating an internship coupled with people from the industry, that really sparked my interest because I thought it would be really, after doing this project, thinking about doing it but being guided by an industry professional in a way, maybe like taking something that they're already working on, but then trying to come at it with a different perspective. And it wouldn't only be different disciplines from school, but it would also be younger people who are learning new things. So kind of taking what we don't know and applying it to something that's already being done in a problem solving sort of way. That really interested me. I think that would be fun.
Excellent. Thank you. Now, other Michael, what about you?
I feel like a lot of the points that I was planning on touching on have already been touched on, but I think Mina brought up a very good point talking about the different, like almost the teamwork and the different sides throughout the project. That's definitely something that I don't usually get to see. I mean, I haven't really worked in the field, like not in the field, but like in the industry yet to really know and see how everything is. But I don't know. It's nice to really work with students who are in design or who are in textiles because it's something I don't know. Like when school was on campus, it's like I mostly interact with like production management students besides like the occasional friend who's in another major. So it was cool working with people in other majors and seeing like their process or how they do things.
Excellent. I love hearing all of your experiences and that. I think it's a really exciting opportunity to work collaboratively on projects. I know that I found that my most successful projects and the ones I end up feeling the most that feel that they have the biggest impact have always been ones that were done in a collaborative way. So this is really excellent to hear. And I have found it certainly to be inspiring to work and to hear from all of you about this process and the importance of that connection. I think Gwen has one more question. I'm not sure if she's still here.
Yes, yeah, I'm still here. I just have my video off because my
Okay.
connection's really bad. I'm going to ask this because I have a question, and I think other people might ask you the same thing, so I want you to be ready for it. So this, if you could explain your choice of using elastic, polyester elastic in the knit part, is it why you ended up with that, since it's not a biodegradable product? Is the string recoverable after its life or not?
Nope.
I think the goal with the polyester elastic was to make sure that the wearer had like a long-term comfort and was able to fit them properly, even if it's not like a natural fiber, sustainable in the aspect that the wearer is able to wear it for a full day or for a week or for however long and still be comfortable.
It's like psychological sustainability, being able to be comfortable and know that you're safe. Yeah.
Okay, so but if you keep the mask complete and you compost it, it's not all going to compost. That's my point. So
Yep.
So that seems like it will be, you know, the next step in the prototype, which is to find a natural fiber or one that would be biodegradable that would in fact have the properties of elastic. So as we close out today's discussion, we want to have just a few final words from all of the participants in this project, which has been an exciting opportunity to look at both things that look at sustainable materials, but also at the interdisciplinary collaborations and the power of looking to both science, design, and really engineering and production. So it's my great pleasure once again to have our students say a few words about this experience. So Izzy, I'll start with you.
For me, this experience was very enlightening, working with everyone in interdisciplinary ways.
Excellent. Michael P.
Throughout the past semester, working with everyone, I would like to say it's very impressive what we were able to accomplish in a remote setting.
Excellent. Michael J.
As for someone who doesn't typically enjoy working in teams, I've had a great time working with this team, especially. I feel like we've accomplished a lot and I've learned a lot from what the other majors do behind the scenes.
Right. Maria.
Okay. Looking back on where we started and where we are now, I feel like our work is very comprehensive and enjoyable, and that's how I feel.
Excellent. Mina.
The main revelation I had through this is that synergy is crucial.
I love hearing that. I'm going to use that one to pass to Amy, who is nodding in
I
great
am
agreement.
loving it. I mean, I am inspired. I am not only inspired by you students, I'm inspired by what my fellow faculty bring to the table, because we often are behind our own doors. So to be able to be in a room with you all is really inspiring.
A joy.
I'm just proud of our students, in the remote world, as Michael said, to work this way and to collaborate in this way and come up with a fantastic prototype. I'm just proud. I'm just proud.
Peter.
Hi, I think the learning process for both students and faculty members, we never had, this remote learning like this way. So I think myself, I learned a lot as well. It's been, it's amazing. I'm really proud of you, all of you. Thank you.
I have to say that working with this team has been one of the great pleasures of the last semester, and I will only actually challenge Michael's comment that I believe your work was impressive, period. I don't believe that your work was specifically, I think you would have been equally impressive if we had all been in person. I don't know that I think the environment did that. I do think it showed that good collaborations and good partnerships don't suffer from any traditional boundaries, and that communication and thinking about working as a team and looking at problems from different angles is very, very effective. And I actually cannot wait to collaborate with everybody who I see on my screen again. I am now seeing future collaborations and future partners to bring back to FIT as alumni advisors, and maybe participants in future projects, and to have the opportunity to collaborate across different departments here at FIT has been a great pleasure, and one that I believe will continue forthright. So if I put on my science hat, I am amazed at the materials exploration and the intersection that we have done, and the sustainability hat, looking consciously at how our choices in design and in production impact is very, very powerful. So I am also, much like a Joy, very proud, but also feeling very excited about the possibilities for the future. So I want to take this moment to thank you all for sharing your thoughts, and we look forward to seeing what comes in the future.